There it is. Dean?
I'm not talking.
You're not talking, that'll be a day. Okay, please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. This is a workshop session on October 3rd, 2019, to discuss the highway fund, both the expenditures and the revenue. Next Thursday, we'll do the general fund, same budget items, and sort of wrap it all up so that we can, the following week, prepare the preliminary budget, which will go through another ritual of public hearing, etc. So at this time, if anybody wants to get up and talk, we got the microphone here. You could get up and say whatever you want. We'll go through the process, very simple. We'll look at categories of the budget. The board members can have the opportunity to comment or do whatever they want. The audience can comment and do whatever they want. And then the board can resolve any comments that come between the two discussions and finalize it, and off we go to the next topic area. So it starts with the general fund repairs, item 1, and it's listed as capital D 5110.1, which is pay for the highway employees. There's not much we can do with this because this is a function of the proposed budget. Proposed CSEA contract that we're in negotiation. So these numbers are predicated on what the proposal is today. If it changes before we approve it, there may be some slight numbers difference. But other than that, there is no change. So we go to the next item, which is general repairs equipment. There's a request from the highway superintendent for a 9-foot power angle sweeper for $14,619, and this is new. This is not a replacement or anything. This is a new item. Does anybody have any comments on that? Okay. The next one gets to be into what I call the nitty-gritty of a budget. These are all the contractual items that we have. I can go down each and every line. I would like to just say, let's look on page 19. Does anybody have any comments on these? This is liquid calcium, gravel, fuel, stone, oil for roads, that kind of stuff. Does anybody have any comments?
No, it is what it is.
Okay.
The fuel went down by quite a bit. Was there a reason?
It goes up and it
I mean,
goes
I'm
down.
happy to see something go down.
I know, yeah, it went down. I don't know. We'll see what the stock market does again.
Okay.
Because, recently it went down because they got overproduction, so
Yeah.
I said I'd take advantage of it. It may go up and we'd be having problems, just don't know. Do the best we can. You got a better
No, I was just
glass
asking.
ball, and we'll go with that one. Okay, on the next page, it's sort of all the same kind of stuff that we had before. The only thing we changed is the very last item, lease of UHF radios for 2019 and 2020. We didn't do them this year, and we're not going to do them next year until the county makes up their mind as to what kind of UHF radios they want. And at that time, we'll have to change, and it'll be a pretty big bucks. But don't have a number, so I can't tell you what it is. But this will allow then the towns to interact with the county radios, like highway department, et cetera. So we could do a little better coordination. But all the rest of the stuff is pretty much all the same stuff as we always have. Okay, next one is improvements. Improvements here, this is where we do things. Now, what was included this year is 7 miles oil and stone, of which roughly half is coming from CHIPS and half is coming from Pave New York. Those are New York State funds. That's $77,000. sometimes we use macadaming and all, but this year we had macadam there, and that was to do Field Road, which we heard that it was finished yesterday. So the macadam is done, so you only do it once, and you don't have to worry about that one. The rest of the stuff is the traditional stuff for the shared services, bucket truck and mini excavator, and the flail mower, which we'll have next year. But we don't have it this year, so that's new, but it's only a few bucks.
So there are fewer road projects in there, because last year there was twice as much.
Well, yeah, because you had the macadam.
Oh, that was the difference.
Yeah,
That was the paving field
the
road.
paving
Yeah.
and Field Road, that was
Right.
the
Oh, I
big
see,
bucks.
okay. It's the same 7 miles.
Roughly,
So,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
Goes up, it goes
Yeah.
down, but that's that money for that paving or oil and stoning and all, that's all from New York State.
Yeah, no,
CHIPS
I understand
money.
that.
So it's
Yeah.
not tax dollars unless there's an overrun or something like that, but that should be easily coming back and forth.
Okay.
Then the next one comes down to what they call item 3 on page 21. All tools, 1,500, that's basically the same as last year. Next one is the machinery, this is the maintenance and repairs. And that went up 10,000 compared to last year. Getting more costly to repair some of the vehicles and to keep them in their required conditions so that they're safe to drive on the roads. The item 4, snow miscellaneous salaries, again, that's the CSEA budget. It's the same number that we had before, it's just different. It only covers the first 3 months of the year, that's all. And they're all there, all the numbers. But we keep them separate because that way we have them for a snow budget. The next one is all the materials needed for snow plowing and stuff. You know, sand, salt, liquid calcium, snow plow blades. I think we went up 5,000 or something for salt, or 10,000. I just don't remember. I could look it up, but
It's 5,000,
5,000.
yeah.
We went up a little bit for salt. Again, you never know how much you need. It's a function of the weather. Ice is the one that kills you and use a lot of it. But, so that's that one. The next one on that page is benefits, Social Security. That's calculated. That comes from your FICA thing, so it's just automatic. The workers' comp went up a little bit, and it gets split between the highway and the general fund. The highway gets traditionally 75%.
Actually,
The-
workers' comp went down.
That's perma, yeah. So it goes up and it goes
Yeah.
down depending on our ratings and stuff. Again, these are all estimate numbers. These are not real numbers. You know, hard numbers. But, so 25% is for the employees in the general fund category. So that's the other piece of it. This is obviously 3 times the size of that. Disability is a small number. It goes up and it goes down as number of people that we have. And it's not a big number in and of itself. Here's where we get into the hospitalization benefits. And it's in several categories. The top 4 there are the employees that, you know, work day in and day out. Now, the numbers that are shown there are estimated calculations. Because we didn't have any real numbers, they said increase it by 8%. Don't know what the real number is going to be. I had a call just as I was leaving the office this afternoon that said, I'm going to meet with Luke, the guy that gives us all the numbers. He said he just got a new set of numbers, and I'll try to plug them in so we have a feel if there's any savings or more grief. I have no idea what it is.
But the
So
rates already came out?
he said they just came out,
Uh,
or better numbers than what he had before. I don't know. I didn't talk to him
That's the
directly.
real numbers or an estimate?
That's probably a better estimate, but I'm not sure. So I'm meeting with him on Wednesday morning, so we can maybe juggle a little bit and get a feel what this means, because this is big bucks. And then-
Yeah, because it's been going up 15, 16% every year, so.
I know. You just never know what the number's gonna be. Then the next group is the retirees. We got 3 retirees this time, 3 retirees on this page. And it's Chick Wyatt, Willie Wyatt, and now we added Theron. Okay, so you can see what the Theron's billing will be for his medicals right there. That's new, so that's a new cost which we didn't have before. And then we have the HRA deductible payments on the next page. I just skipped that admin fee of $300. That's $250 a month times 10 employees. You can do the math, but it's lost in the rounding. So the HRA, the numbers we were told would be the same for that. So it's $1,600 for single people, $3,200 for everybody else. Now, the only difference you can see is in the HRA for the new highway superintendent in Theron, we pay 100% and 90% for the other employees. That's basically the contract, so. This PCORI fee for HRA, that's a weird number. I don't know where it comes from, but the insurance company tells me how much it is. It's $500, $600. It's in that kind of range. I have no feel for what it does, but by law, we gotta pay it. And then we go into the vision plan, which changes in the middle of the year in July. The numbers didn't, well, in this particular year, the budget cycle, they didn't change. They're the same as last year. $20.14. Obviously, we have 1 or 2 new people, but that's not gonna make a significant change. The other one is the CSEA dental benefit. That went up a smidgen, as you can see, between the beginning of the year at $105 to $111. So that's per employee per month. So it's basically like, I don't know, $6 a month increase. The other employee benefits didn't change, left it the same. That's when they buy back stuff. They've pretty much bought back everything they can, so thank God we're not gonna have another 20,000 hit like we did a few years ago when everybody needed it. And then at the very bottom of the page, we're transferring $230,000 to buy a 6-wheel snowplow sander from using CHIPS money again. So it doesn't really add to the taxes that we charge. But, you know, there's paperwork, but it's got to be in the budget so we can spend it.
We had talked about that, have it buying a big truck every other year to replace the ones that are
Yeah.
20 years old or more.
Yeah, well, this is a smaller one than the bigger one, the 10-wheelers. 10-wheelers are really expensive. So that's all the expense side. Anybody have any comments, or leave it the way it is, other than if we get better numbers, I'll plug them into the MVP. Don't know what it'll be, because he didn't send me anything. Then we go back to the page 31, and this is the revenue, monies we receive, so you can see what the tax dollars are. And I put in for doing this snow plowing, both payments, this fall and the spring payment, assume we're gonna do it again. I mean, for us, it makes sense to do it because it primarily covers County Route 18, which is Center Road, the full length of it. We gotta go through that road anyway, so we either pick the plow up or we put the plow down. We still gotta drive down it to get all of our other roads, so we might as well get paid for it. So it gives us an extra 51,000, which is good, helps offset some of the costs.
That's what you estimate it to be,
No, that's the contract number.
is the contract,
Yeah,
regardless of how many times we do it?
yeah.
Okay.
Only if it becomes, and we haven't had a case yet where it becomes really high snow, you know, say we get 3 feet of snow or something
Right.
like that, then we can negotiate an additional supplement to this, but just normal plowing, that's what it is. I didn't put much interest in earnings, because who knows how this numbers are, they're not very great. The other numbers down here, where you get the mini excavator insurance, mini excavator maintenance.
Is that the co-op share
Yeah.
from the other towns?
Yeah, this is coming back from the other towns. And the mower insurance is flail mower. I put it in for it for next year, but, you know, when it comes, that'll be what the other towns will pay us, $40. Should have no maintenance the first year, the next year we probably will. Then I show the paved New York income here. Okay, that's the 37,000 at the bottom of the page. And then the chips restricted, which is the chips that we're using from New York State, you know, the 39,000 plus and the 230,000 for the snow plow truck, and the other was for the chips and oils. That came out to the 269,000. So we're building up a cushion that next year the following year can be utilized for either a truck or whatever else without having to tip into tax dollars. And then the only other thing was, 50,000 was transferred from the unexpended balance into that account to balance it out, help defer the taxes, reduce the taxes. Now, just so people know, let me see, I sort of memorized the numbers, but I want to be sure. As the budget stands, whoops, I didn't put that sheet up. The tax increase, as before we make any changes during this cycle, was 1 cent increase in your tax rate. So if you had a $300,000 house, that would cost you $3 more. We are about, if I remember, like 20,000 below the tax cap.
25.
25?
Yeah,
Okay,
25.
yeah, I just didn't remember.
According to this, yeah.
Yeah, so if we spend the 25,000, we could not exceed the tax cap, but the rate will go up. So it's a balance, and it's whatever the board wants. But we're prepared either way to go forward until we get into it. So does anybody have any highway information requirements here?
I think as far as future planning, there's definitely some roads that we should probably complete, you know, driving around, you know, like Mountain View or Meadow or East Meadow. There's like one part paved, one part dirt. I think we should finish it, and I'm sure that's a maintenance nightmare as far as plowing and everything else. So I think that should be definitely in a plan to
Well, yeah.
complete at one point in time to bring it all to pave.
Well, that depends on the cycle. You can use CHIPS funds for that, but
Right.
you use CHIPS to put macadam down, and you can't use CHIPS to buy a truck.
Right, I'm just saying that we need to, I think we need to plan on that in the future.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's either should be all dirt or it should be all paved. It shouldn't be back and forth, because
Right.
it's just
Oh, yeah.
too difficult to
Was
handle, I'm
that a
sure.
function of the people who were living there at the time in terms of their preferences?
Some of them are.
The cost is the problem.
No, I
and it's
understand.
because we have to bring in all the equipment, you
Right,
know? I
right,
mean,
no, I understand.
I think it was 90,000 for Field Road.
That's like a mile and a half or
It's
something.
half a mile, yeah, half a mile.
The thing is, and this has been substantiated over the years and hasn't really changed. Dave Orr has talked about it. He's the person in charge of the
Right.
Cornell thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's,
Yeah.
it's 50% more cost for dirt roads over macadam. Same length of road, same width of road
To maintain.
to maintain it.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a higher cost to that.
Right.
That's why you want to try to get them all macadamed. Okay, Theron?
Yeah, another part of that, Dean,
Have to identify yourself.
Theron Tompkins, Highway Superintendent. There's a scenic road law. So
Yeah, I know.
Before them roads get touched, we have to petition the people.
Well, like I
We
said,
gotta
those
go
are roads that are like partially paved, partially dirt.
Well, really what happened is, years ago, they used to call it penetrating oil. And you would have a commitment to penetrate in front of people's houses. Well, then they stopped that oil. So we paved it where it used to be oil,
Right.
oil and stone.
We did
So
that in the
that's why all of them
1990s.
got paved, because they discontinued that oil that everybody used to just put down oil, penetrating oil.
But why,
It's not allowed no more.
but my question's always been, why on the same road would it be in some places but not
That's what he
others?
just said.
That's what
Some
he
places
said.
had penetrating oil on it.
But why?
All he did was cover it
Because-
over.
It used,
why?
No.
house to house to stop the dust if
Dust.
your house is very
Yeah, but-
close.
That's where it started. When you
Like
hung
on
your-
Chelsville Road, you go by it every day.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
house is real close to
Yeah,
the
oh,
road.
so it's based on.
Years ago, they would just
Okay, all right,
come in
that's
with
my
a truck
question.
and just
Okay.
pour
I thought it
down
was-
oil.
I thought it was based on the preference of the.
No, no,
Oh,
no, not
no.
that section.
We just, it stopped the
Okay.
penetrating oil because
Okay.
they don't allow you to do that no more.
Right,
They don't
so
allow
it's
you
the
to just put oil
proximity to
down
the
the
road.
road.
Got it.
So,
In the old days, they used to actually hang their laundry out.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they did.
and then one other thing that, I know you guys didn't say anything about it, but that broom, the broom goes on the new loader that we bought a few years ago. It's got a quick attach. So we bought that loader years ago for that reason, so we can put attachments on it. We got an old Bobcat, or we rent a loader, or we rent a sweeper every year to go around and sweep all the, so it's about time to buy the equipment that we bought the loader for. We bought that loader for a reason, in that now it's time to start buying the attachments. So, I know it's a lot of money, but in the long run, it's not. It'll last as long as the loader.
And that's a state law requirement that requires that the sand from all the winter be removed by a certain date off the surface of the road, so bicyclists and motorcyclists, et cetera, don't
It's
slip
a
all over.
possibility that we will just get reimbursed for Center Road instead of them coming all the way out here. You know, that's just in the shared services, so
Yeah.
we could get some money back from that.
Did we not do 2 roads this year?
Yeah, I'm talking with Brooman, because they have to come out all the way out here with their
We didn't
loader.
just do,
We do
Field
out,
Road,
we
we
do
did.
out in Clinton
Yeah.
Corners.
Which was
right.
the other one?
We do out in Clinton Corners by the vineyard,
Oh, okay.
that little piece there, and some little piece out, and wherever they don't turn around, the state and the county out that way, we have a
Yeah,
little.
for snow plowing.
Little
There's a
section.
bunch of odds and ends.
Oh, for snow plowing, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
just a
right,
bunch of
right,
odds and
Right,
ends.
right,
But
right.
again, we have to go through that same stretch anyway, so pick the plow up and not get paid, might as well get paid to go for a half a mile or whatever it is.
I guess the problem, what you're saying is true, but I guess the problem is, do we need the truck more than we need the road? I mean, do the roads. It's got to be one or the other. We will not have enough money to do the road and buy the truck. So the
That's a
decision will have to
decision
be
in
made.
2021.
Right.
It's different budget cycle. Let's get through this one. Oh,
Right.
please. Okay, any more discussion?
As a general note, is it possible to get these with percent changes from the year before in the next column? Because it's an Excel spreadsheet, it should be easy enough to do. And then it's easier when you're going through it just to see like, because it's hard for,
Well, they're not always the same. We added new features.
yeah, well then that would just be a non-applicable column, you know?
Well, I'm just saying,
So-
it gets to be a nightmare trying to do all of this stuff. With a new person who's never done it before. This, This is a lot of work, a lot of time we spent on, because I had significant revisions to incorporate things that weren't there before.
So you don't have a column in your spreadsheet already that
No.
tells the percent change?
I think we talked about this last year, too.
We did, that's why I was hoping maybe it
But
would
we
show
got
up
a
this year.
different, we got a different,
And his answer was the same.
Yep.
Do you do that on a program, Ray, or do you do it in
Excel.
just Excel?
Excel.
Well, if you email me the Excel, I'll do it. I can put in the percent.
I think he
Sure.
said that, too.
Yeah.
That would be good. It would be good to compare.
Well, that's why I just did the big items. I mean, I wasn't going down to the stuff that's a 0.1% and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Sure. But it would just automatically do it, so we'd be able to see that.
Yeah,
And it's more of, I think, an issue on the general fund than the highway fund.
yeah. Okay, well, we'll send it to you Monday.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Nope.
Okay, next week, we'll be doing the general fund. So, same time, Thursday, 7 o'clock. You're welcome to come here and participate if appropriate. I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Workshop's adjourned.